trillion with a T. Can you believe that? U.S. corporations are on track to spend that much on stock buybacks this year alone. What does that mean for you and me, for the markets, for everything? Well, that's what we're diving into today. But that's not all. Oh no, we've got Ethereum gunning for speeds that'll make your head spin, and hold on tight, because there's PMAL meme coin riding the election wave like it's a surfboard. Buckle up.
Should be a wild ride.
Let's kick things off in the fast-paced world of crypto, where things never seem to slow down. Athena's making waves, and big ones at that. They're adding a cool, well, potentially $200 million of Solana to back their stablecoin, USD. You know, it's kind of like diversifying your investment portfolio, right?
It's exactly like that. This is a big move towards diversification, a real signal that Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't the only big players in the stablecoin world anymore.
It's like shaking things up, making the game a bit more interesting, wouldn't you say? And while we're talking about shaking things up, how about the SEC giving the green light to options trading for BlackRock's Bitcoin Trust? But listen to this, we're not just talking about any options. These are physically settled, meaning real Bitcoin is changing hands.
This is massive for Bitcoin. This brings a whole new level of, I guess you could say, legitimacy to it. And with longer duration options coming into play, this could be a real turning point. We might see a lot of institutional investors jumping in, bringing a whole wave of volume with them.
Talk about a potential flood of activity. It's almost too much to wrap your head around. And speaking of big moves, Vitalik Buterin, the mastermind behind Ethereum, well, he's got a plan, and it's a doozy. Imagine this. Ethereum processing a mind-blowing 100,000 transactions every second. That's his goal.
This surge roadmap, as he's calling it, it's not just about speed, though, although that is a big part of it. This is about fundamentally changing how Ethereum works. Imagine a smoother, more unified experience. That's what those layer 2 solutions he's talking about are all about.
Like upgrading from dial-up to fiber optic. It's a whole new world of possibilities. By the way, if you're as fascinated by this stuff as I am, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next, I guarantee it. Now let's talk about Elon Musk. Because, well, why not? He's been a bit quiet lately, but leave it to him to stir the pot, right? This time, he's got Dogecoin trending with, you guessed it, a meme. And what's the meme about? A potential second term for Trump.
Say what you want about the guy, but Elon knows how to get people talking. And in the crypto space, that's like having a superpower. I mean, a simple meme can move markets. It's crazy.
It's like he just throws a dart at a board of cryptocurrencies, and whichever one he hits, the price goes through the roof. This time, it's Dogecoin, but who knows what it will be next week. Speaking of significant moves, WorldCoin just launched their own blockchain. They're calling it WorldChain. And get this, it's built using Ethereum's technology.
It's actually a really smart move. They're essentially leveraging Ethereum's already established infrastructure, its developer community. It means they can focus on what makes them unique. You know, their whole thing about human verified transactions.
So they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They can just focus on building their car.
Precisely. They're all about security and trust, about linking every transaction to a real verified person. It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Definitely keeping an eye on that. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something a little more traditional, shall we? The European Central Bank, they just made a pretty big decision about interest rates, didn't they?
They did. They cut them again, trying to tackle this inflation problem they've been grappling with over in the Eurozone.
It's a tough balancing act, isn't it? I mean, you want to keep inflation in check, but you don't want to stifle economic growth at the same time.
Exactly. And with the euro already up 4% this year, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Speaking of things going up, have you heard about this new meme coin? SPX 6900, they're calling it. And get this, it's skyrocketed. We're talking over 6,000%.
Meme coins, gotta love them. But seriously, this is a perfect example of just how volatile this space can be. Sure, those gains are eye-catching, but the risks. Let's just say you better be ready for a wild ride.
Especially with a meme coin, right? I mean, the potential for manipulation is huge.
Absolutely. You got to be so careful in this space. It's a gamble, that's for sure. High risk, high reward. You got to be in it to win it, I guess, but be ready to lose it all too. Now, remember that whole thing about U.S. corporations buying back their own stock? $1 trillion. Can you even imagine?
It's hard to wrap your head around, isn't it? What's driving this buyback frenzy? Is this a good sign for the market or something we should be worried about?
It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Some folks say these buybacks are a good thing. They boost share prices, which makes investors happy. But others, they say it's all about short-term gains, that corporations should be investing in their future instead. Plus, it might be making wealth inequality even worse. It's a complicated issue.
For sure. So what should investors be paying attention to right now? What are the warning signs, the green lights?
Keep a close eye on those big S&P 500 companies, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, the heavy hitters. When they release their earnings reports, pay close attention. Are they doing more buybacks? Paying out dividends? How are they investing their money? That'll give us some clues about where things are headed.
Makes sense. And speaking of things on the horizon, the Cosmoverse conference in Dubai is causing quite a stir in the blockchain world. What's all the hype about?
Cosmoverse is like the Super Bowl for the Cosmos Atom ecosystem. It's where all the big names in blockchain and DeFi come together to brainstorm, network, show off their latest inventions. Think cutting-edge blockchain solutions, groundbreaking partnerships. It's a hotbed of innovation.
So we could see some game-changing stuff coming out of this.
Absolutely. It's definitely one to watch. Now, on to something a bit more specific. Mantle and their new CME3 staking token. Have you heard about this?
I have. What's the deal with CMEs? Why is everyone so excited about it?
Well, Mantle is already doing some really cool things in DeFi, but the CME token, it's next level. They're trying to make their platform even more appealing, attract even more users.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So how does it work? How does CME make the user experience better?
It's all about giving users more ways to earn passive income to make their money work for them. With CME, they can earn rewards just by holding on to your MIF. They're basically creating a system where you can earn interest on top of interest. It's like compound interest on steroids.
Like magic internet money that makes itself. That's a pretty sweet deal.
Right. And Mantle's not the only one doing this. We're seeing this trend all over DeFi platforms competing to offer the juiciest staking and yield-generating opportunities.
It's like a race to the top, but in a good way. Everyone benefits. Now, I know we were talking about some interesting fluctuations in weekly token unlock volume earlier. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, things are getting interesting. We saw a bit of a dip recently. Unlock volume dropped from $694 million down to $542 million. Looks like things might be slowing down a bit. But hold on tight, because next week, it's supposed to skyrocket to almost $2 billion.
Oh, that's a huge jump. What's causing that?
It's mostly due to Celestia. They're about to unlock a massive chunk of their TIA tokens, like almost 92% of the total supply.
Wow. So what does this mean for the market? What should we expect?
Honestly, it's hard to say for sure. Such a huge influx of tokens could make things pretty volatile. Some people might start selling, which could drive prices down. But on the other hand, it could attract a whole bunch of new investors, which would push prices up. It's a real nail-biter.
It's like the crypto market is always on a roller coaster. You never know which way it's going to go next. And speaking of exciting new developments, ApeCoin just dropped a brand new feature that's got everyone buzzing.
You talking about their new automatic yield mode?
That's the one. What's the deal with it? How does it work?
It's actually pretty simple. You stake your APE tokens, and boom, you start earning rewards automatically. And the best part, those rewards get reinvested, so you're basically earning interest on top of your interest. It's like a snowball effect.
Sounds like a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
What are ApeCoin's plans for this feature?
Well, word on the street is they want to expand it, let users earn automatic yield on other cryptocurrencies too. Pretty ambitious.
It's a smart move. Could really shake things up in the DeFi space.
Oh.
It's incredible how quickly things are changing, right? Makes your head spin trying to keep up with it all. But hey, that's why we do this, right? To make sense of it all. Now let's rewind a bit. We talked about that massive wave of stock buybacks happening right now, those U.S. corporations dropping $1 trillion like it's nothing. $1 trillion. That's got to be some kind of record, right?
It's certainly up there. It's a trend that deserves a closer look, that's for sure. While buybacks can boost share prices in the short term, the long-term impacts, well, they're still up for debate.
Exactly. On the one hand, it could be a sign of confidence, companies betting on themselves. But on the other, are they just trying to please investors, sweep some bigger economic issues under the rug? It makes you wonder.
It does. It raises some really important questions about corporate responsibility, about income inequality. Investors need to think long and hard about this trend.
Food for thought, that's for sure. Well, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today, from Athena shaking up the stablecoin scene to Elon Musk and his Dogecoin antics, from the exciting developments of the world of DeFi to those head-scratching stock buybacks. It's been quite a ride.
It has. And who knows what next week will bring?
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Always something new and exciting happening. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive as much as we did, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next one. Until then, keep exploring, keep those questions coming, and we'll catch you on the flip side.